Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Hello, welcome to the All Things Borough podcast, the official podcast for Farnborough Football Club and sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec takes your business visions and turns them into innovative reality. Good evening, everybody watching us on YouTube. Welcome to the podcast. It's been a while. It's me, Alan. I'm joined by Simon. Good evening, Simon.
Evening,
You're back
Alan.
home?
Yes, I'm home. Yeah, no hotels for a bit.
No hotels for a couple of weeks, has it?
Yeah. I've been back at home now, full time as it were, for a couple of weeks. My trial finally finished after 22 months. So long. It was.
I think the big question is, because you really are at home. How's your mum taking it? You being around full time now.
Terrible. She keeps hinting at she should give me rental properties to look at and things like that. I don't know what she's trying to say really, but
she's slipping future rental properties for yourself into your bedroom.
Yeah. I had to mow the lawn the other day to keep her happy. So it was one of them. There we go. Yeah, not that it does. It only lasts a few hours. It's like most women, it doesn't last long until they're on to the next thing. So which is quite apt really, considering we're doing a women's episode this evening. But there we are.
Yeah.
So might be just my mother, maybe. What I should have said. But there we are. Yeah, so I'm back home for a bit. I'm up in Nottingham. I'll be up in Nottingham end of the month on another trial. So I like Nottingham now.
So you're back home for a while then.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks. Yeah, I've been up at Southwark today, long day, trying to sort servers out, things like that. All the stuff us real men do.
Yeah, right. Okay, which is basically nothing.
Lugging shit around, pretty much what I was doing all day. For no reason whatsoever, because it all broke. So I've got to
I think it's about time we did some actual hard graft.
I'm absolutely knackered. Actually, like I said, it's going to be a mini episode, 15 minutes, because I need to go to bed. So.
Well, on that, we've got as you said, Simon. This is a women's special, Farnborough Women special. So we have got Craig back on. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening. Thank you very much for inviting me on. Much appreciated.
That's no worries. How's everything? How's it going? How's everything been?
Yeah. Not too bad. I think if I give you a short answer, it's been going all right. I think
you couldn't have asked a more general question there, could he?
I know. Yeah, I meant life in general, not just the football.
Life in general is pretty good actually. I can't really complain at all at the minute. Everything's going okay, so I'm just waiting for that one thing to pop up around the corner. But everything's going pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so things on the field. What about personal life? All good off the pitch? You haven't got much time, I suppose, to deal with it. You're busy with the ladies' team, I suppose.
There is no time for anything else. I'll be honest with you. My biggest issue week to week is to remember to do the food shopping. If to be brutally honest, just got no time. So what with everything. So yeah.
You looking forward to the summer break? Have you got any holidays booked?
No. Well, I mean, might be a slight holiday booked. I'm hoping Celtic get to the Scottish Cup final, but that'll just be a quick up and down because I think we'll have a match on the day after that is.
That's going to be a long old round trip, but
yeah, I've done it before, so it's fine. It's not a problem. But
they won't get there if they play like they did yesterday.
No, absolutely won't. No, pretty awful actually since we won the league back in October. But it's been all right.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, you've always got that to fall on them, haven't they? So.
I think it was over after the first match, I think, wasn't it? Oh, Christ, I mean, Rangers have died. But the Rangers have died. They've sacked their manager. For anyone who doesn't follow Scottish football, Rangers have sacked their manager, Philippe Clement, despite progressing in the UEFA League, or Europa League as it's called. I don't know what it's called, UEFA League. And then they brought back Barry Ferguson, who was a bit of a club legend, if people don't know that, for Rangers. And then obviously, Celtic have was it 16 points clear or something? at one point?
Yeah, he was 16 points
13.
clear at one point. It's 13 now.
13 now.
But yeah, so it's no Celtic stuff's going all right. I mean, if you want to do an hour about Celtic, I'm absolutely fine to do that.
They're my Scottish team, Craig. So I'm quite happy to do that.
I
But
think
Alan hasn't got a clue about football anyway, so he just turns up, does it. It'll obviously being a Spurs fan, that's quite obvious.
I have family up in Scotland. They're all Hibernian fans, so that's my Scottish team.
They're doing well at the minute.
They're third, aren't they? They're third. They've kind of taken over from Aberdeen, because Aberdeen were like up there, weren't they, at the start of the season? They've all dropped away, and then Aberdeen have sort of taken over the sort of the third place cup as it is in Scotland, because they're never going to get first or second. That's we're always going for third. The best of the rest.
I saw something today actually. I think it was like if you look at the Scottish Premiership League table in the last 15 games, Hibs are like 6 points clear.
Really?
They've been incredible. But yeah, we'll maybe not turn this into a Scottish football podcast because
the listeners are tuning out as we speak.
It's just the odd one or two Scottish fans that do seem to follow us, but are tuning in. But that's it. We're going to stop.
I will just say, to finish things off though, it is apt that we speak about Hibernian, because they do play at Easter Road, and it is the time of year for that. So I thought I'd get that terrible Scottish football ground pun in before we move on.
Very good, well done. So let's move on to your team, the Farnborough Women's team. We'll talk about both teams as well. So how obviously we've seen that you obviously won. So today it's Monday today at the time of recording. So yesterday you won. Yesterday, what was it? 4-2?
Yeah, 4-2. Yeah. I forget the last one because it was in the 93rd minute or something like that. They got a bit of a weird penalty, but I won't go on about that.
But that's put you guys at the top of Division 1, and we got 4 or 5 games in hand on Millbrook, who are second, but they've got one more game left to play.
Yeah, so they actually played that yesterday, but the result didn't come until quite late. So Millbrook are actually gone back top.
Cancel it. Cancel the podcast.
Do
your research.
Right. Okay. So, but their games are done now, aren't they? They haven't got any more games left to play. So you've still got 5 games left.
Yeah.
Shanklin are third who have played one more game than you, and then we've got Andover fourth who have played one game less than you. So realistically, how many games? I think maybe 2 wins, and the title could potentially be yours.
So not that I've thought about it at all, but I think we need 8 points from the last 5 games. Officially, that would so Andover are sort of technically the closest challengers with the games in hand. I think if they win them, I think they are technically 7 points behind. But we need 8 points, but Andover and Shanklin have to play each other twice. So you kind of think something has to give there. So 8 points, that would put us on the same points as Andover, but I think our goal difference is about 20 better than theirs. So unless some crazy scores happen, I think it's 8. But we're obviously in a good position. But I think it's that thing, like the job's not done. And it's not done until it's done.
Because of the games that you've got left, is this the time where you start a little bit looking over your shoulder, looking at the other teams' fixtures and see where the points that they can get and where points you think you're going to get to the finish, to see when you can actually finish it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like looking at other teams, the only thing we've sort of done is almost like look at that recently in terms of like how many points do we need. And I think that kind of came to fruition kind of a few weeks. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Andover lost to US Portsmouth, which was a bit of a shock. But that was the same day that we beat Shanklin. I'm pretty sure it was anyway. So that I think I'm hoping in like the fullness of time when the season is done, I think that we'll look back and hopefully see that as like a pivotal moment. But we still have to play Andover at home. And in the county, Andover the only team that have beaten us. It was in like the little cup, and we tried some things. So no excuse. Like the team was strong enough to win, and you could argue looking at the match we should have won. But Andover played a really good game that day. Tactically, they were quite good, and we just weren't able to break them down. But we still have to play Andover. But there is a possibility that it might be hopefully done before then. But we have to absolutely be completely on it, and I think we are. Like, we're absolutely taking it one game at a time. Like, no one's mentioning anything about winning the league or anything like that at all. And it's the same as it's quite similar to last year, where like we had a target in Division 3 that we knew we had to hit with about 5-6 games to go. And the players last year were right, this is the next game, we have to win it, full focus, bang, done, 3 points. What's the next one? Bang, focus, 3 points, done. And there's a lot of vibes from last season in that run that I'm seeing this season with the players and the coaching team, to be fair, as well. So I think we've got, like, obviously, fingers crossed, everything goes well and we do well. But I think we're in a good kind of mind space in the team. The team's got a really good mentality of not looking ahead too far. And I think probably where that shows is that games where we won and not played well, we have been incredibly upset. I think the semi-final win last week, like, I got a lot of congratulations from that for people, because that was against a really tough side. They were the same as us. They hadn't lost in Division 2. They hadn't lost. They were still in the Invitation Cup before we played them. They hadn't lost in the Hampshire Trophy. And obviously, Porchester's got a really good women's setup, and we beat them. I got a lot of congratulations, thanks. So did the players. But I tell you, after that game, it was like we lost 8-0 because of the way it transpired. Like, it was not a great performance. I can say this. I've said it to the players. Performance wasn't great at all, and we all kind of redoubled our efforts. So that's from winning a semi-final, which I think maybe shows I think I've said before, like, the desire to just continue to improve and get better with this squad is something I've never seen before elsewhere. And I think it's a good thing. Like last year, we had a habit of losing a game, then bouncing back, whereas this season we win games and then bounce back. Probably one of the first games we had was Lip Hook away in the cup, and we won 1-0. Morgan saved a last-minute penalty, and it was the same after that. It was like, we did not play well today. And then we kicked on, and I think won 15 games in a row. I'm not exactly sure what it was. And I think from the semi-final last week, the same thing kind of happened yesterday. Where we kicked on, it was a better performance than that. So, not looking too far ahead. So I've given you a long answer for that really short question.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, we'd rather listen to you, listen to me. To be fair, and I think most of this podcast will say that as well.
What is it about? Sorry, sir. What is it about this team this season that's making you play so well and win all these games? And also, have you seen a noticeable difference between Division 1 and Division 3? Because obviously last season you were winning games quite comfortably, we should say. Whereas this season you haven't had that many sort of wins with massive scores, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's interesting, actually, because I'd probably say I don't think we had loads of big wins last season. If you look at the results, like, there was one that was second to the last game against Belgium Reserves. I think we won 11-0, but that was almost through we were chasing goal difference then, or trying to pick up our goal difference. Div 3 was a decent standard last year. I think the start of this, it's an interesting question, because like the start of this season, we did beat quite a lot of teams by quite a number of goals. So beat Basingstoke 6-0 twice, Rushmore 7-1, City Ladies was 5-0, I think it was. But what's actually happened, a little bit frustratingly, but I do not blame the other teams at all. I would beat Andover 4-0 as well. But what's happened is, where teams were playing us initially thinking, just a Div 3 team that's come up, type thing, they came out and played against us, and tried to attack us and all that kind of stuff. And obviously they saw what happened. So when we've gone to play the reverse fixture, they've sat in and made it difficult for us. So we've had to evolve kind of how we play, and tactically we've evolved it a little bit in terms of like how we deal with that. So it's been really interesting from that point of view, because like I was doing things tactically that I didn't think I would have to do in Division 1 coming up. I thought every game would be pretty, like, everyone going at it and stuff. And I think probably the biggest realisation that kind of our performances had an impact on the other teams was the Millbrook game at home. Millbrook are great sides. They're really class side. Like obviously we've beaten twice 1-0, and then one of those was cup, and then we drew 1-1 at home. But for that game, it was a bit of a like watershed moment for me because they didn't really come out and attack us, and that was what I would say is the best team in the league other than us. And they shut up shop, and I don't blame them. Like we were, dominated possession in part because they were sitting back, and then they got a point, and they were really happy with a point, even though they kind of had to beat us if they had any chance of winning the league at all. They were really happy with that, and like I said, they're a really good side, and because they had kind of like were happy with a point and sat in against us, it's sort of like we didn't win on the day, but I was quite happy because we had made a good team like that worry about us rather than us worry about them. So the Div 1 standard's been good this year. Like Andover are a good side. They play some good football. They've got a lot of really good young players, and some of the older ones are great as well. Shanklin, no comment. Shanklin are a tough physical side. They certainly let you know that they're there. Is what I'll say. They've got some great players. They've got a great centre mid, great winger. Keeper's decent as well. So those three in particular are good. But every single game we've had this season has been tough. Like if we go back to like the mentality of the team and you look at the number of games we've won by one goal, which I think speaks volumes. Gosport, City Ladies, Shanklin twice, Millbrook twice. I'm probably forgetting some, but there's quite a lot of games that we've won by the odd goal. So the standard's good, I must say, and I think this season a lot of the games, the close games, like we've as like a coaching team and as a group of players, whatever, like, really thoroughly enjoyed it. Because it's you can win 6-0 and all that kind of stuff, and you're great and feel good, but getting a 1-0 win away from home, like for example, the Shanklin win was brilliant. Like going there and beating them, winning at Millbrook, a team who they haven't lost at home ever in 3.5 years. So we were the first team that went to Millbrook and beat them. I didn't know that about that till after the game. So that was that was great knowing that. It was their manager that told me. So stuff like that's good. But no, it's been a challenging season, but like a really like rewarding one. In terms of like how we've
has it been equally challenging? Sorry, Simon. Has it been equally challenging for the girls? But like you say, it sort of made you sort of think a bit more tactically in order to sort of get around these teams that are sitting back and shutting up shop and stuff like that. Is the same thing happening with the girls? Are they starting to think a bit more clearly, a bit better about how to while they're on the pitch? Because obviously you can't get every kind of information to them whilst they're playing, and they've had to sort of think for themselves and as a way to get past the like a tight back line or what have you.
Yeah, no, 100%. They're really good at adapting to the game, and I think we always run on a philosophy of like we don't want I see other teams do this where the manager is barking orders for every single second of the night, telling them what to do. So like we've always said, like myself, Mark, and the coach have always said, like we will just like almost give you the options on the pitch, and then you just need to make the right decision more often than not. And I would probably say, and if any of the players are listening, they've heard me say this before, but like I'd probably say from like last season, if you have, for example, like 10 decisions to make on a pitch or whatever within a minute, whatever, they might make 5 of them right last season. Whereas this season, it's up to like sort of 7 or maybe 8 or whatever, where they're making the correct decisions more often than not. And it's like from management, it's been a case of just tweaking bits and pieces here and there. But I think I think they know kind of how to control the game, when to go fast, when to slow it down, when we need to play into like half spaces, when we need to kind of hold the ball out wide, when we need to dribble out wide. And it's kind of just been like that really. They've been brilliant. I think they've enjoyed the challenge as well. And I mean, if anyone was at the Shanklin away game and saw everyone after that game, they'd see what kind of winning a game like that means to everyone and the kind of work they put in. So and the bruises they got from it as well. So
yeah, it's good. It's good you're sort of making asking the players to sort of think for themselves on the pitch, because it's important that you can't, not everything like that can come from the sidelines, can it? Because sometimes you get your messages don't come across correctly, or they might misconstrue something. So it's a lot better if you're using the leaders you've got on the pitch to kind of portray what kind of messages you want, and then knowing when to.
But also sometimes because it's a big pitch, it's difficult for people like Craig and Mark to get messages across the players if they're on the other side of the pitch. Sometimes they can't hear you, or if you tell another player, one of your players, to pass the message on, it either gets misconstrued all the way down, or they just don't do it.
Well, no, and also the other thing is the opposition manager can probably hear what you're saying as well, which isn't great, is it?
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
So yeah, I was going to say you've probably answered a bit of my question, because I noticed that there's been you have won a few games by the odd goal, which is it's quite good to see, really. You come out on the right side of most of those games, other than the one game this season in the cup. Yeah, I was saying, I was going to ask you, is that down to kind of the difference in standard, but also teams probably sitting in a little bit more against you and not sort of playing out or coming out as much as they would do, maybe sitting in and making it difficult, that sort of thing. But also, what I was also going to say, you've come for a bit of adversity this season, really, because I know at the moment you've got a couple of players injured. You're probably your two best attacking players are both injured, aren't they? You've got Ellie's got an ankle problem, and obviously Esme's fractured her kneecap, and she's going to be out for a few more weeks yet, isn't she? So I just wanted to touch on that, really, and see what your thoughts were. But I think you've done well, really, because you're still winning games without them playing, which I think says a lot about the squad.
Yeah. I mean, to answer the first point of your question, I think it definitely has been recently a case of teams sitting back in and just defending more. And I don't blame them, especially like when we've got the attacking threat that we have. Like I think I took a bit of stick from Rushmore when we played them last time, and it was 1-1. We won on penalties. And I said that Rushmore scored the goal, and then they didn't really kind of venture forward, but like they played well that game. Like they sat back and they defended with their lives, and they almost got a 1-0 win. And I almost got like a weird flashback to like when I was at Rushmore and we played Oxford City and we beat them on penalties, and it was 1-1, and we got one chance, we scored, and then we just sat back and just hoped for the best. So and I don't blame them for doing that. I would do the exact same thing, considering it was, like I said, 7-1 the first game. So it has definitely been that. I know that like when we played Andover in the cup game that we lost, like they changed what they normally did or normally play against us. And we had set up like had thoughts and ideas about the way they would play, because normally I haven't seen them change before, and then we started that game and they had changed. I assume it was because they were playing us. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a complete philosophy change on their end. But that was a bit of okay, right.
That's the other thing I was going to ask. Well, you say that obviously, like teams like sat back and sort of defended deep and narrow and whatever. But have you noticed also, because of who you are as a team, as a club, and you're a good attacking side, and you score lots of goals? Has it also been where teams are changing the way that they play to maybe come at you a bit more as well, to try and sort of ruffle you up?
No, I mean the only kind of teams who have kind of come at us are the ones who try and kick us in terms of that way. I think, yeah. I mean, to be fair, Millbrook, the first game way back in October, they came at us, and I'll be honest, I don't know how we got out there with a 1-0 win. They kind of second half absolutely battered us from pillar to post. But then the second game we played them, we won 3-0. And I think we'd clicked a little bit more by then. And we did kind of pick them off again a little bit on that day, but it was very controlled. And then obviously you have that evolution to the home game where they were happy with a point. But like I said, it's just been this continual kind of improvement from us. And like I don't blame teams for defending at all, because like I said, we have got we are good going forward. And like Portchester came at us actually in the semi-final. They're a really good side. Probably like as good as like a Millbrook or a Shanklin, even though they're in Division 2 with that kind of second team. But they came at us. Obviously, they got a few goals, so fair play to them. Not as many as us, but they had a good game. So yeah, no, it's been interesting. I think I would like to see some of the other teams who play us have a bit more confidence coming out, because it's obviously I think we're a good side and all that kind of stuff, but we're not Arsenal or Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it would be good on that. And then was it on the injuries? Was it Elianez?
Yeah.
I think it's a sort of thing where I think last season, if we lost Eliorez, we'd have been in trouble. But I think this season it's obviously frustrating because you want them with us or whatever. But the other girls have stepped up. Like Tally's scored way more goals this season than she ever has done before. Gemma as well recently has really come to the forefront. Jordan started scoring. So I think it's that thing where it just creates kind of opportunities for other players. And, I'd say we've maybe changed how we play slightly in kind of smaller certain areas, because we don't have, Ellie's ability or Ed's ability at the minute. But it's not hampered much. Now, may it have been the case if Ellie and Ez were on the pitch yesterday? Would they probably have got a few goals each? Possibly. But at the end of the day, as I say, where it's like game by game at the minute, it's we go there, we get the win, we go home. And that's all I sort of ask. And we've still got really good quality with thankfully whatever kind of 11 we have on the pitch.
Yeah, it's like Simon said, it shows the measure of your squad this season and the quality of the players that you've signed this season. Your recruitment this season has been really good to improve what you already currently had at the squad. So I mean that's obviously kudos to you and Mark and whoever helps you out with scouting and whatever you looking at these players. But yeah, it just shows that the squad that you've got now are probably a little bit better and a little bit more able when adversities like this happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a squad that would run through a brick wall. And I think I think it's quite good that like the majority of the squad have been with us since day one. So I think that's really helped, I would say. I know you have teams where you have squads together for like 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, and they're quite close or whatever. But I think because we started fresh last year, and I think what was it? 2 years ago, there was no female player at Farnborough whatsoever. So and how everything's developed since then. So I think it's because most of the squad has been here since day one. I think it just adds a little bit to it, and I think the new girls who have come in have been absolutely fantastic. They've all contributed really, really well. Obviously I named Gemma earlier. Obviously Farah's been a revelation. Kelly's been incredible, sort of both on and off the pitch with everyone, because she brought that little bit of experience in the middle that we needed and perhaps lacked last season, especially for the away games. And even like Neve, I'll give her a little mention. She's at uni at the minute, so we don't have her regularly, but yesterday she came in and she slotted in straight away as if she played with us all season. And I'm excited for her to get a few more minutes with us over the next kind of month or so. But yeah, I think it is. There's a real togetherness in the squad that I've not. Of course, I'm going to say this, but I've not noticed anything like it elsewhere. I think it is kind of like catching lightning in a bottle. And credit to the players; they don't stop at all. Ever trying to learn and be better than yesterday. And
well, I think it's always been. We mentioned it few times last season when we had a chat with you on the podcast. It was like there's a lot of good camaraderie and really good team spirit with everybody there. It's good to see. What I was going to ask you also is what's no, I know you're taking game by game, so you might not have looked at this already. But so what's next for Farnborough Ladies first team if they get promoted? If in case people don't know the setup, just to explain that what will be next on the what league will you guys be going into if you win this one this season?
Yes, I can be honest with that. So it's a slightly weird like setup because technically you don't have to win the league to get promoted. You have to apply through the FA through a promotion pool. So we have applied to go up into the Southern Region, which is Tier 6. I think there's one other team in Division 1 who's also applied to go up as well. So we'll see if they go up as well. But I think it's that thing of like, obviously, fingers crossed, hope we win the league. Touch wood, that's wood here. Touch wood, we win the league, obviously, that we go up. But if not, it seems very likely that our application will be accepted because of the results, because of the stature of the club, because of the stadium where the girls play. So it is incredibly likely that we will be going up to Southern Region. I'm not sure kind of whether we're going to the south or the north. Not quite sure how that will work. I know they used to do the boundary of the M3, but I think they might have changed it because there's more teams from the coast now. So we'll see. But yeah, so that would be quite exciting because it will be, against, in theory, a better standard of teams. Obviously, Bursledon are up there that we beat last year, and a few other notable names in there. that will be exciting to play against. So yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, quite
exciting. I think
again.
When you get promoted, it's really exciting. Obviously, when I played, I never ever got promoted. I was more like relegated. But so going into the summer, it's kind of you kind of look at it's something to look forward to, isn't it? You think, oh well, but it comes with also you get nervousness and a bit of trepidation as well. But I think with the girls, it'll be a kind of more excitement and things. What we can play. We're going to be playing better sides, and we're going to be probably playing more competitive games as well, which I actually think is a good thing. Going into every game, not knowing you're going to win games is always, I think, it's a good thing. It also focuses minds.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Yeah, it's weird actually because it's kind of, as a manager, one of the things I've been worried about probably since we started is just complacency. And to be fair, we've not had any. So I better not start now. But yeah, no, going outside division it'll be cool. Because I haven't might get promoted. I don't think they will. But they potentially in the league. Woking is probably the big draw for them and for us. So yeah, so some good teams up there. So yeah, it'll be quite exciting. And the other thing as well is I think we'll have less games as well next season, which is probably quite nice. So
a few more free weekends.
Is it?
Yeah, I can go watch other teams then. So
yeah,
you say less games, is that because there's less teams in that league, or is it just the way it is?
I think it's
less...
more like sort of less cup competitions.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I think obviously with Hampshire County, I'm not complaining about this because every single team in the county would love to swap with us. But where we've been in the Invitation and Hampshire Trophy, and obviously the league, and there's a lot of rounds, it's been complete full on. Like I think it's this Sunday is our 50th game. We've not even had 2 seasons, which is quite crazy. So it's 50th competitive game, I should say. So it's
You're saying about the amount of games you've probably got coming up. It's probably a good time to mention the forthcoming announcement that we mentioned about off air. So I'll let you take the floor on that one, Craig.
Yeah, sure. I guess a podcast exclusive because I don't think it's out on the socials yet. Yeah, so we've got our league game against Basingstoke at home this coming Wednesday at the club. Obviously, 7:45 p.m. kickoff. So it's one of our games in hand, technically in the league. So yeah, and I guess the exciting thing is if we do win that, then we finally go back top of the table, which has been difficult when you've got 5 games in hand to be top. But yeah, so that'll be good. I think it's £3, isn't it? I know I got it wrong last time I was on the show.
Free yeah, Craig, you're giving discount, weren't you, Craig?
I said £2 and then it went up to £3.
yeah. Like Craig said, it's £3 to get in. 7:45 kickoff at the club. So if you're free on a Wednesday night, you've nothing better to do. I know there's Champions League football on, but there are only rubbish teams left, so there's no point in watching that on the telly. So you might as well come down and watch the game. I'll certainly come down. So if that puts anybody off, apologies. Yeah, I'll be there for that after work. So yeah, go down, have a burger, and watch a bit of decent football. Under the floodlights as well. Be nice for the girls.
Yeah.
Mind you saying that, I think it's the end of the sort of second half of some of your games. You had the floodlights on, I think, during the winter, didn't you? So it was maybe not as
we had a particular referee who was wanting the floodlights on during November, December. Yeah, just one. When I played one of the last games I played, he actually sent me off. So
off the Christmas card list then. Oh dear.
Yeah, basically. So
you need to watch that temper of yours, Craig. You know what I mean? It's not on really. I mean, as you come across as one of the most mellow, chilled out people I've ever met, but quite why. Yeah.
I say to a lot of people, I actually kind of don't like who I am in the dugout. Like there's moments where there's a complete change. Like I shouldn't ever come out in public, but the first goal we scored yesterday, all you can hear me is moaning, like shouting, like the girls are celebrating. I'm moaning about 4 different things going off, and I watched it back today, and I'm just complete cringe. And like you say stuff on the sidelines as well. Like I remember in the cup final. I think we were 1-0 up, like going into half time, and their manager, Pete, I know, and I apologise, but he asked the 4th official how long was left, and he said it was about 3 minutes. And I walked over, I was like, "Can you add an extra 15? I'm feeling pretty confident about this." Yeah, so you say things that are sort of like heat of the moment that you afterwards are sort of like, oh. because I think I am quite chill outside of it, but I don't know that dugout does things. I don't know. But
You did the same to me.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I
Craig, to be
would.
fair. I was a nutter when I played football, but yeah, to my detriment, sadly. It's
Yeah, I think I.
it is the only reason I didn't become a professional. To be fair, it was just the attitude. You know, I had the skill and talent.
That and the ability, lack of. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Craig. There, I'm sort of quite a sort of chilled out person, like outside of football. But when it comes to the game, and you're standing in that dugout, it's sort of it just sort of changed, and you start, and like I say, you start moaning, or you're having a go at someone, or you're shouting at the referee, or having a go at players and all that have you. Then as soon as the whistle goes, that's it. You change back, and that's it, and you're back to normal. It's a bit
yeah,
strange.
it is weird, but I think it's just because you care. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
well, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
especially sort of like at this point in the season where we are, where there's a lot of potential
yeah.
like prizes at the end of the season on offer. And it's like, I don't want, to let the team down. That's kind
No,
of
of
what
course, yeah,
drives it really. So, yeah, sometimes if they're, I don't know, I let quite a lot go at training, to be fair. Like it's pretty chilled, relaxed atmosphere. But like, I think the last few weeks I've just been a little bit more, can we not, can we get on with it type thing.
Mm.
And that's, sometimes I'm like, no, that is the right decision. And the other part of me is like, no, it's not. It's not just like them. It's worked so far.
yeah.
But yeah, you have to find that balance.
Yeah. So what's if people are interested in coming to the games, what's next for Borough? Obviously, you've got the game Wednesday night now at 7:45, as we mentioned. Plug. But also what's coming up on Sunday at the weekend if people can't make tomorrow night's game, and then and coming up after that if you know.
Yeah, so Sunday we are away to US Portsmouth, which is our old friends from last season, kind of. Yeah, so obviously last time we went down there last season was last January, I think it was, quarterfinal invitation. We lost 3-0. But that was we sort of look back as that on that as a game where they were Div 1, we were Div 3. I think we had a couple of players out as well. And then we really kicked on from that because we were sort of like, we're not far from this Div 1 level, And then
Yeah.
obviously we drew them again in the Hampshire Trophy at home and beat them 3-0, and it was quite comfortable. Like they've had, I think they've had a bit of an up and down season over there, but they beat Andover the other week, so they're obviously a decent side. So that will be another difficult away game on Sunday. So, but yeah, it should be nice to go down. It's been nice to have 3 games in a week. To be fair, it's a bit strange for us, but well, maybe I'll say if it's nice after the Sunday once I've been through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea of having a Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday has been quite good, and it means we can get the games in hand sort of out the way. But yeah, no, that'll be a tough game. So it's not the greatest pitch either. It's like artificial, but it's not 3G. It's a weird one. I don't know how to describe it. So I'm assuming that's where we're playing again. So yeah, we've got that, and then I think the week after is Hampshire Trophy semi-final against Winchester. So and then the week after that is a cup final. So it's complete full on. It doesn't stop ever.
Yeah.
I'll stop. Yeah.
This is the Invitational Cup final, isn't it?
Yeah.
27th of April, that isn't it? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That'll be good. That's being played at Winchester FC. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Was it originally?
I thought it was AFC. I thought it was AFC Tottenham.
No,
we thought it was as well. But no, it's changed to Winchester.
Okay.
Yeah, good job they let us know because I think it ended up being one of the finals there, and then the other 2 changed. I think they moved one to midweek or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
What happened? But yeah, Winchester 3 p.m. kickoff.
In terms of travel, though, it's better, isn't it? It's not as far.
Better, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better for us because it's actually a 3G pitch as well. The pitch at Tottenham, because the B team played their final there last season, and the pitch wasn't amazing. And we definitely play better on good pitches, which is why I think the home record's so strong. But like yesterday at Stonewall Way, the pitch was not great at all. You could kind of see it in our play, especially early on. We took probably half the game to get used to the pitch. And I remember early in the season when we played Gosport away second game, we really struggled there. And it was sort of second half, Ali bagged a hat trick for us, but we properly struggled in that game with the pitch. So 3G pitch is great for us because we can play our stuff then hopefully. So
Yeah. Any idea on admission prices for that? I think it's about £5, I should imagine, isn't it?
I think it's a fiver. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was a fiver, and then they'll upsell your program as well for however much that is. I don't know.
Yeah. A
So
tenner.
you can read about the players you already know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just good. So if people are interested, that in interested in ladies football, coming down to watch a bit of stuff, then and obviously by that time the men's season would have finished as well. So it's a good opportunity to keep your football interests going. You got obviously Wednesday night's match against Basingstoke at home. Then you've got some invitational cup finals coming up as well in 2 weeks' time, and also then you've got the final at the end of April 27th. So there's loads to keep you going. I know Spencer, the Farnborough first team manager, said, don't forget when it's all over, you're all going to be bored. So it's a good opportunity not to be bored, just to keep yourself ticking over.
I think the way my team are going, I think I'll be glad when the season's over. To be honest.
Yeah,
we're going to the end of May. It's
You've got well, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously if we win the Hampshire semi-final, we've got that final to squeeze in as well. So it's I don't know what's going to happen with that. Hopefully it's a problem that we have. So but you were talking about summer break earlier. There is not going to be a summer break at all. I can promise you that when the season finishes on May 25th or whatever it is.
Yeah. Are you going to be running some trials like you did last summer again? Do some trials or
so there will be. So we'll see kind of how that goes. I think, like, if I'm honest with you, obviously the squad's really strong. So I do think it's that thing for like the first team and stuff. Like in terms of going up next season, it is like our priority will be to keep the players that we have. And then it might be add one or two. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a strong squad. So the trials has got a really.
It'd be good also for the players to sort of stick together and try and step up the level, I suppose, as well, isn't it? I suppose they all want to do that as well, test themselves at a better level, see how they go, and that'd be good.
Yeah. No, we'll see how it goes, but focus on Wednesday first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have you been?
Let's talk about briefly talk about the B team, how their season's going, how they're shaping up with the under. Are they still being run by what's the name? I forget what her name is now.
Penn.
The girl that you got in charge there.
Yeah, Penn. Yeah,
that's it. Penn. That's it.
Yeah. So obviously, I think we spoke before. Obviously, we had quite a lot of turnover in the summer. Obviously, lost quite a lot. And then Penn's had to sort of come in and pick up the pieces a little bit. And we had a bit of an up and down start, but I think they're on. They've been fantastic recently. I think they've won 6 of the last 7. And I think they lost a couple even before that. They won sort of 4 of the last 5 or whatever. They obviously got to the semi-final of the Junior Cup. They were unfortunate to lose that semi-final. There's quite a lot of players injured that day. As it is what it is. But they've been on fire recently. They beat top of the league the other week as well. They beat Aldershot BG yesterday in a little derby. It's been a great turnaround. And then I think what will start to happen is obviously the current under-16s will then start to feed up. A lot of those girls come September will be ready, and they're doing really well in their league as well at the minute. So obviously we've got Jodie's come straight up to the first team. Gave me absolutely no choice whatsoever on that one, if I'm honest, with the way she's been. We're at the point now where we've got a strong B team. They're doing well. I think they'll probably go up a division next season as well, up to Div 3, which is where the first team was a couple of years ago. Doing really well, and excited for the young players to come up as well. So it's everything's kind of in a healthy place really. So we've got to kind of keep on it, continue that.
How is that whole pathway now settling in? Because it started this season, the whole pathway thing for the girls teams. How are they all sort of doing? How's it all sort of settling amongst themselves in their league?
No, they're going well. So we've got under 12s, under 14s, under 16s. Under 12s are, they're doing quite well. The under that's actually run by Penn as well, actually. So she helps to run that as well, along with a few of the other B team players. So it's quite nice to have that. The under 14s again, they're doing well in their league. I don't want to tempt fate, but it looks like they're going to win their league. They're in a cup final as well. That one is at Tottenham. So I think that's in a few weeks' time. And then obviously the under 16s run by Leanne and Katie. They're also doing really well as well. They've won a lot of games. I think they're currently top or second of the under 16 league, and then they'll go up to an under 18s league next year, and then obviously feed into the B team through that. And there's quite a few players in that squad that have got an awful lot of potential. And even since Leanne and Katie taken over at the start of the season, I'd like to see like the progression that they've helped the girls with, and it's just kind of just gone up and up. So Leanne and Katie done a great job there. And yeah, there's a lot of really good kind of young players throughout those teams. So hopefully we can sort of only grow it moving forward. But yeah, it's been a crazy start. Like I said, 2 years ago there was not a female player at all. So
yeah.
It's really good progress. I just wanted to touch with you before we leave. Any thoughts on Aldershot and their team starting up? Because obviously they're starting next season. What's any thoughts on that? And
he's always got to get an Aldershot mention in every episode. He's always got to get one in.
FA Trophy finalists, and they know. I mean, got to get him in.
Don't start
I was waiting for this question. I'm surprised it didn't come before. I mean, first of all, I think it's great for the area that they've finally started. I think they were maybe thinking about a few years ago, but I don't think it didn't quite come off. I think they've done an awful lot of talking. I'll be honest. I remember when we started, we didn't really say anything, and we only really kind of piped up when we had trophies in the cabinet. But no, fair play to them for going and promoting it before they've kind of properly kicked the ball. But it's good for the area. I think it's good to have. I know the assistant manager over there, Paul. Spoke to him a little bit. He's a great guy, and he's brought over kind of a young team over there that I think is going to be the majority of their starting team next year. And there's really good players there. So I think they've got all the kind of like the ingredients to have a really good start. I'll be honest with you. I'm assuming they've looked at us, and they want to emulate the success that we've already done. It's nice for us, and I know there's a couple of other clubs that have sort of looked at us and kind of wanted to do the same. So it's nice that we're in a position. I know we're rivals and all that kind of stuff, but it's nice that we've been able to do something successfully that's kind of kickstarted others to do it. And I think, I don't know the manager over there. I've not spoken to her at all, but I think there might be a friendly in the summer, which would be quite nice. But no, it's good to see them doing it. Like I said, I know it's a rivalry in Derby and all that kind of stuff, but it's nice to see them doing it, and it'll be good for women's football in the area, and it's good for players to kind of have a choice. I'm not sure what league they're going into. I'm assuming they might end up the same issue with us, where Hampshire tell them they're starting in Div 6. I don't know, and then they maybe get bumped up to 3. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, it's good for the area though. So I wish them the best of luck, except when we play them. So
yeah, it's good. I was going to say it's good for the area because you already got Farnham, who have started off really well, and they're obviously they've had a really good season. And you've got obviously Farnborough ladies team are doing really well. You've got Woking, Slough, Walton. I'm going to say have we got another team, Walton possibly. And then
you've also got Ascot as well. Ascot United, who a little bit further out. They're run by your ex-B team management.
Ash United.
I mean, Ash United.
Ash United, yeah.
Well, there's loads of teams popping up. It's great, really, because there's lots of girls who want to play, and it's definitely. As I said to when the ladies team was first announced, nearly 2.5 years ago now, it was kind of I thought just an ideal time to do it because there's the sort of euphoria and the actual
2 years yesterday actually.
Is it?
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. It was the announcement of Farnborough Women's team was actually on my birthday. But I didn't plan that, just for the record. So technically, Farnborough was born on my birthday, but nothing to do with me.
It's because you got 2 cakes, Craig. Wasn't it? One for you and one for the ladies team start. That's what it was. Just anything for cake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it is good though. Like I remember when I was like doing Rushmore Reserves or whatever, and it was kind of just us. There was I thought Hawley was kind of about, but there was no kind of like buzz or anything. And Rushmore was the kind of biggest girls team, women's team in the area. but there was kind of nothing else really. But yeah, now there's a lot popping up, and it's nice to see like the kind of I don't want to use this as like a disparaging term, but like the actual proper clubs, the bigger clubs who can sustain it, to actually build it and get behind it. So like I said, we're all rivals, but it is good to see, and I think it's only going to drive the quality up in the area. You know, if you look at Portsmouth, Southampton, there's so many women's teams down there, and they're all filled with really good players, and I'm hoping kind of the same happens in kind of this area. So it's been a long time coming, but like I said, I like to think with us starting, we've triggered a few things elsewhere, and that's kind of helped the others.
I think you're right. I think you have. I think Farnborough have done it. I think Farnborough got on the sort of I wasn't going to say gravy train. That's the wrong sort of term, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like they've got in at the right time. You know, and it's been an ideal opportunity following on from the success of the ladies team in the Euros.
And like you said, Craig, all these teams have sort of seen the success that you guys have had over the last couple of years. That it's shown them that with proper planning and that it can be done, and like as we've all said, it just improves football for the whole area altogether anyway. So it gives every player different options and creates extra rivalries.
I'd probably say a word of caution though. Like starting off and going and winning a league and kind of Hampshire Cup is not easy.
Easy, no.
So I'm hoping some of the new teams that start don't think it's as simple as start the team and you win the county cup straight away.
Well, that's a good point actually. What would your advice be? Because obviously these managers going into these new teams are probably fairly experienced themselves in football anyway. But what would your advice be to someone who is like that, starting a new team, getting new players in? Stuff like that,
you want me to give advice to Aldershot?
Not to anybody, not to Aldershot.
I think Alan's looking for some advice. I think the way his team's going.
I think I am. Yeah, because I'm starting a new team next season as well myself. So, what would your advice be?
I don't mind giving Aldershot advice. To be fair, I'm sure I'll have a good chat with them if we play the friendly. That's a great question. If I'm honest with you, I think when it comes to kind of football, when people are coaches and they get involved in football, they often forget about the people. And I think kind of a few years ago I did as well. Like you're looking at, she can play here and she can play there, and we could do this, we could do that, we could sign this person, whatever. But I think a lot of people forget the knock-on effect that has on existing players, existing coaches. And I think a lot of the time, like I've had a lot of discussions with like some of my players in terms of decisions. There was one a few weeks back, sort of a few players like didn't quite understand that, and then I sort of said, well, this is how it will affect this player. This is how it will affect this player in this position. And then kind of it has a knock-on effect. And then it was kind of, right, that makes complete sense, actually. So I'd probably say, and, it's maybe a bit of a corny answer, but I do think a lot of people, when they run football teams, start football teams, coach football teams, they think about the football and not the people, not the human side of it. And I think that is very easily lost if you haven't got your head screwed on. And like I think part of the reason why we have been successful is because we have at times prioritized the human side over the football side, and it's worked. Because at the end of the day, you need not just the players but everyone off the pitch to always be at 110%, run through a brick wall, do the extra mile and all that kind of stuff. And if you can't tap into that human side, they're not going to do it on the football side. So I'd probably say just remember, football is not just all about football.
Yeah, it's good advice actually. Yeah. At the end of the day, people play football, not football plays people. So you know what I mean. It's that's the way it should be. Yeah, it's good. Right. Anything else, Al?
Just one more thing. Lastly, have you been keeping up? Have you been watching any of the men's games recently?
I've been to some. Last season I was pretty much at every game. I've not been to as many this season. For various reasons. But I've been to a few. I was hoping we were getting promoted, but it doesn't look like it. I don't think.
I think everybody was. Yeah.
What's your take on September? I think everyone was thinking, here we go, we're going up here. National League.
Yeah. But what's your take on the season? So we've got a few games left now, anyway. And we're sitting we're a couple of places outside the playoffs. We're quite a few points behind. It's not going to happen, obviously.
It's.
How do you think it's been?
If I'm honest, it's a really difficult one to kind of give an answer to, because it's obviously there's a lot of at the start. I think it was kind of like trepidation of maybe we can challenge, and then very clear it was like, oh no, we absolutely can. And I remember one of the games I was at, like I think the crowd started singing with top of the league, and I was like,
Yeah.
what, really? And I checked on live score at the table. I was like, oh my god, we are. And then obviously the kind of through the winter months, it was a bit of a drop off for whatever reason. I think the squad's changed quite a lot, hasn't it, in terms of like players
Changed
in,
a bit.
players
Yeah, there
out,
was
and all that kind
a
of
few
stuff.
injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, but I mean, look, it's I know obviously the ambition is obviously always to get promoted, but I mean, obviously first and foremost, don't dare go to that relegation zone. So I know we're sort of miles clear of that, and I know that was probably never going to happen, but I think at least there's a platform there for kind of the men's team to already kind of think about next season. I'm sure they already have.
Yeah.
Looks like they've secured a few of the players already for longer term. So yeah, I think it's maybe you see this opportunity this season maybe as a missed opportunity a little bit, but I don't think it's not been a complete disaster, because I think there's probably shoots of growth going into next season, hopefully.
I personally think it's been like Spencer says it a lot. It's like the hope that kills you. And at the start of the season, we had the hope, didn't we? So every top of the league, we were thinking big. I know I never was. I never was one of those people. Only because I'm a pessimistic, grumpy old bugger. But it's because I look at the standard of the league, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, the amount of money that's been thrown around is one thing in the National League stuff is ridiculous. And then you just got teams like Dorking. Dorking have sort of got themselves up there. Even they started off badly, but they're up there. Boreham Wood, I mean, they're just mental. There's ridiculous amounts of money going through that club. Torquay, and there's so many teams. There's 7, 8, 9, 10 teams who are on massive budgets in the league, and and you got teams at the bottom like Weymouth, who started the season off with quite a high hopes of doing quite well, and they've got relegated. That's confirmed at the weekend. Aveley have gone down, who made the playoffs last year. I mean, I know they lost a few players, but I think that does show a kind of how football works. If you don't keep moving forward, you end up going backwards, like quite badly, and that's what's happened to them.
Yeah, maybe need to move to National League North.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah. Well, if we have too many teams keep going up from our league, then they might end up being.
To be honest, there's not many fans of our fans that travel to away games as it is. I don't think we'll get many travelling to National League North games.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Might start winning.
Yeah, imagine
Well, maybe, yeah.
Scunthorpe on a Tuesday. We've got no, but I'll get about 5. I mean, it'd be all right for you,
Yeah.
Al. You'd be happy. You're not near your neck of the woods. You're from up north, aren't you? So
Not from Scunthorpe, no.
Yeah, but anything north of Watford's north for me. So yeah.
But it's good to see in the last couple of weeks, maybe through necessity due to the size of the squad, but the men's team's own academy sort of system seems to be sort of starting to come to fruition, where a couple of the young lads have formed with the first team, and one made his debut yesterday against Tunbridge, which is really good to see. We haven't seen anything like that for a long time. I think from memory, I think CJ is the only one that's really come through the that sort of youth system at Farnborough. I don't recall any others. There's always been players that have been brought in.
Yeah, no, it is good. Obviously, it was. I know we've only been going 2 years or whatever, but like seeing Jody come up from, and obviously we only started under 16s this year, but even like seeing Jody go under 16s into the first team was, like, I think a lot of us are like really proud of that. Like it's different when you've got someone who's come through, and like I said, we're a bit weird because we haven't been going for 10 years. Jody hasn't played 10 years for us, but it's just nice to see someone grow as a person. So I mean, my boy's in the under 15s at the minute, so maybe in a few years' time, you never know. But
how was he doing? Because I think the last time we chatted, he was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he's doing really well actually. I think he's grown about a foot since we last talked. So he's now, I think, the tallest in the team now. Yeah, no, he's doing really well. The team's had a decent season, and he's he'll listen to this, so he'll love the fact I'm talking about him. But yeah, no, he's honestly he's got since the injury, he's got so much better just as a footballer, really. So he's doing well. So you never know, in a few years' time, he might be.
You give him a little few coaching tips on the side as a manager yourself. You help him out with that sort of stuff.
I'll be honest, I don't think I need to. He's got a really good football brain. I'll be completely honest. Sometimes in a game that we'll have, and he won't sit in the dugout because Suzanne and Kelly will kick him out. But he'll be near the dugout, and I'll ask him what he thinks about the game. And
Yeah.
often, I'll be honest, often he's spot on. It was the Millbrook one at home. I said to him how he thinks it's going, and he's like, "No, I think we're doing all right." He said, "Your only problem is if that striker gets half a chance, she'll put it away." He said that's the only way you're going to concede. And what happened? She got half a chance, put it away. So yeah, no, he's got a good football brain on him. So
So
yeah,
maybe
he's a good
a
man.
future manager in the making there as well. Then.
Oh, I think so, but I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't want to be a manager.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got here. So
Yeah, I think giving away your secret tactics there, Grace. It's not you running the team, is it? It's your son.
seriously,
He's the brains behind the organisation.
he has picked one of the teams. I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
and I was like, "That's pretty good."
Yeah, I have to say, going back to the Farnborough men's team before we finish. My own personal view, that I know everyone's itching to find out, is that I actually think we've had a really good season. Even though it looks like you're ninth, and I think the overall kind of feeling with the club is everyone's a bit disappointed with how things are currently because our form's been a bit up and down. But if you take away, if we like last season was totally polar opposite. There was really optimism around because we started off pretty well averagely, and then we were looking over our shoulders a bit around Christmas time and end of January. We went on that massively around a really good run of 14 odd games where we didn't lose, and then we almost made the playoffs at the end. So there was a lot of expectation brought on that, and I think this season's been the polar opposite. It's been kind of a really good start and then not so good finishing. But I think if we can keep. I think we've had a good season. I'll be interested to find out what our I need to have a check at this. Find out what our points tally was at the end of last season compared to where we are this season, because I think that'd be a telltale sign. I don't think we've got as many points as we did last season, but if you look at the standard of the league, I think the standard of the league has improved again, and I think it's going to. Unfortunately, I think it's going to continue to do that. If you look at the teams that are going to come down from the National League, it's Ebbsfleet. We could look at teams like Dagenham and Redbridge could get relegated. Woking are struggling. Sadly, Aldershot are gonna survive, so they won't be in, which is a bit of a shame. Wealdstone as well, Maidenhead. I mean, there's some really good sides that are going to come down. I only think that's going to improve. And if you look at the teams that are up in the playoffs at the moment, which I think will be the final 7 teams. I mean, you've got teams like Maidstone who are seventh. I mean, they've got a massive budget. Dorking, Worthing. Truro, Western Superman might make it. I don't think they will. I think they might just miss out. Torquay, some brilliant teams. I mean, I mean, only the thing is, only 2 of them are going to go up. So you're going to still have 5 of them for next season, plus whatever else comes down. And then you've got teams. If Scunthorpe come up, sorry, not Scunthorpe. If Merthyr are going to come up from the Premier South next year, so that's another long away journey. I mean, they're really well funded. And it could possibly have Tottenham or haven't possibly, who have just got into the playoffs this weekend as well coming out. So it's gonna make it really even more difficult next year. I think the standard of the league's improving unless you've got some teams with financial problems who can't keep the budgets going any longer. I just can't see the league being any less strong next season really. So I think again we're punching above our weight. I think compared budget wise and certainly club size wise, I think we're doing pretty well. I think so. I'm quite happy. I'd have probably taken ninth or 10th at the beginning of the season. So I think we're about where we should be personally. That's it. End.
That was a very long-winded answer there,
Yeah,
Tom.
I kept going now. I kept thinking of more and more things to
A long-winded answer to a question that was never asked.
Yeah, no one asked for my opinion, but I gave it anyway. That's the story of my life. Yeah. Well,
Right.
do you think I've summed it up well though, lads?
The short answer, yeah.
Yeah. You make a good point on the only like all those like really good teams, and there's only potentially 2 go up. Like it's and then you've got the issue with obviously National League 2, League 2 as well. Where I know they're trying to get another team up, aren't they, or something like that. Like it's it's I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, they want that. I think that's gonna come in. It's gonna be. I think
it
it won't be next season. It'll be the season after. I think, but it'll be two. It'll be 2 automatic plus 1 for the playoffs. So it'll be 3 up rather than just 2 from National League. So that's going to mean you're going to have more teams coming down from League 2. But I've always said this. I've said this for a number of years. I think the National League is stronger than the League 2 myself. I think it's a stronger league.
Yeah.
If you look at the teams that go up from National League, they don't tend to struggle. They tend to do pretty well. Yeah. When you've got Wrexham and Notts County are a good example of that. Wrexham have already got out of the league at the first attempt. Notts County will probably go up this season. There's Sutton went down last season and they're sort of mid-table. I can't think the other team was. The only sort of downside of that is the teams that come up from the National South and North. tend to struggle to stay in the National League because it's such a good standard. So Ebbsfleet have had a massive budget. I know they've got massive debts as well, to be honest with you. But they've got battered this season. They're coming back down. And Tamworth have done very well. They're just outside the playoffs at the minute, so they might go up. I think that's down to their FA Cup run and their money they've got from that. So I think they've invested pretty well. But there is some Kidderminster have done pretty well as well this year. So yeah, but they tend to struggle, the teams that come up from the north and south. Yeah, we'll see. But there's going to be some good teams coming up from the other leagues from the Premier South because Tottenham are really well funded. So are Merthyr. Have obviously they signed Pendlebury from us, and they've got Ryan Sigair up front. He's a really good striker for that level. There's loads of them, so they're all good teams. So yeah, I think the team's going to be the league's going to be strong next season as well. So hopefully we can still continue to progress and keep pushing the squad through.
Well, at the risk of Simon repeating himself there again,
just because he didn't get it the first time.
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna mute him in a minute, Craig. Right, I think we'll end it there because now Simon's 10-minute rant is over. Craig, thanks for coming on tonight. It's been great catching up again. Good luck with the rest of the season. Good luck with the final and the semi-final that's coming up. And we'll try. I've only got a couple of games left, so I'll definitely get down to a few games towards the end of your season. So hopefully I'll be able to get to a few. And Simon's also going to try and make Wednesday. I might see if I can come Wednesday. I'll see how I feel after work. But thanks for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure as always. So don't go away.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. Don't go away because we'll have a little chat after when we go off air. But
yeah, we've got to finish talking about Scottish football in a minute, so we'll crack on.
No more chat. No more football chat, Simon. Thanks for coming in, Simon.
No problem.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to push the subscribe button. We do with some more subscribers. That'd be nice. Go over 100 by the end of the season. That's the target.
Hopefully, I think we've lost a few.
Yeah, we got 95 to go. I think, haven't we?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. As Simon said, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. And as Simon said, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as we say, this episode was sponsored by Chartec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit chartecconsulting.co.uk. And that's good night from me. We will be back pretty real soon with a brand new podcast.